Hey Lennies and bunny lovers, welcome back to the channel. Lorelai here, and today's video topic is one of the biggest questions in the bunny community. Why does my bunny bite me? Now, I want to make it clear that a bunny biting you is actually not normal, okay? And I know I'm gonna get a lot of comments probably arguing with me about this, but when a bunny is biting you, something is wrong typically, because bunnies are very sweet-natured, docile, they're prey animals, so they're actually quite timid. And unfortunately, they do have this like reputation or stereotype of being like nippers. And if you ever like talk to a non-bunny person, they always have this like strange recollection that they feel compelled to tell you about that one time a bunny bit me, and so therefore I don't like bunnies. And to me, it's very strange because, again, you know, bunnies don't typically bite. However, it does happen. And when it does, it can be startling. And so I'm gonna break down in this video why exactly your bunny could be biting you, as well as the different kinds of bites that you might experience, because not every bite is created equal. All right, and I know that sounds kind of goofy, but you'll be able to tell the difference probably in what's going on based on the bite. Before we get into this, guys, please subscribe, comment, like, and all that stuff, and let's hop right into this video. Also, this is a little irrelevant and I digress, but I know the setup hasn't been the same lately, and that is because Lennon chewed the cord to one of my umbrella lights, and so I'm having to use natural lighting these days until I get a replacement, and I'm just procrastinating. And I'm actually not mad at this situation, although, you know, it is nice to sit at the desk sometimes. Okay, so first I want to talk about why your bunny could be biting you. What are some of the possible causes of biting or aggression? We could call it aggression. It depends, because if it's an isolated incident, it could be something that is immediately fixable. But if it's ongoing and there's also a history of it, then that's probably gonna take a little bit of more work to undo. Okay, so some of the main causes of a rabbit biting you are, one, probably the most obvious, is some kind of trauma. Okay, your bunny, let's just say you adopted your bunny or you rescued them from a bad situation, and maybe they're coming from a history of, you know, constantly needing to be in self-defense mode. Maybe there was abuse, mishandling, mistreatment. Maybe they were perpetually faced with a predator, like a dog or a cat who was scaring them or agitating them. Maybe they were previously attacked by a predator. The next reason is they are asserting their dominance. So as you know, rabbits are very territorial and they operate on a hierarchical system within their community. And so when you first bring a bunny home, you know, maybe they want to show you who's boss, you know? And this is a little more on the rare side because this is most likely to occur with another rabbit, but I wouldn't put it past them to maybe lash out in this way if, again, they are coming from maybe a less than ideal situation. And this brings me to my next point because it's related, which is you've been handling other rabbits or other animals, maybe a dog, a cat, or something else, and they can smell that on you. And that can be extremely intimidating to a bunny, especially a very territorial bunny, a single bunny, or even a bunny that has a partner, but they are very protective of their partner. The quick solution to this is like, just go wash your hands, maybe change your clothes if you really have to, and then things should kind of return back to normal. All right, next, your bunny is very stressed. And maybe this could be due to an environmental change. This could be something major, like you've moved to a completely different house or state or country, or you're traveling, or you have to take them to the vet and they don't like going to the vet. You know, no rabbit likes to be in a car and go to the vet. It's like the thing that they dread, you know? Maybe you just bought a new vacuum or a new washing machine, and every time you turn it on, it freaks them out and they think the vacuum is going to attack them, so they go for your ankle instead. All right, guys, and next, one of the reasons your bunny could be biting you is due to their habitat or their living space. I personally have seen a correlation between aggression and rabbits that live in cages and hutches. And my theory on this is really, if your bunny is isolated and they are not sharing a space with you, if you are just visiting your rabbit once or twice a day to feed them, and then you go about your day and you don't ever think about them again, you're not bonding with them. And so there's a lack of bonding that takes place when your bunny lives in an enclosure like that. Free roaming bunnies are more likely to be happy, and they are more likely to bond with you because they're not going to be as intimidated by you. Think about it. If your bunny is spending all their time in there, it becomes their safe haven. It becomes the only thing they really know. The outside world is completely foreign to them. And so you come in there with your hand and you're sticking it in the cage unhinged and unwelcomed, they will probably attack you. And it can be very alarming if you mess with that. Next reason is your bunny is not spayed or neutered. And I bring up the importance of getting your rabbits fixed all the time, but it really is because it's that important. And not only just to prolong your rabbit's life, but you are going to simmer down some of that aggression, that hyperactivity. I get a lot of concerns from people about, well, you know, is it going to change my bunny's personality? Are they going to love me less? And the answer is no, absolutely not. Okay, getting them spayed or neutered doesn't change their personality. It just diminishes the territorial behavior, okay? So they're not going to be pooping and peeing everywhere. They're not going to like lunge at you if you're in their territory. I mean, as a bunny owner, why wouldn't you want that? And I think ultimately, guys, like, most of these kind of fall under the category of your rabbit being scared and acting out of fear and maybe feeling threatened in some way. So at the end of the day, you know, it's really important to comfort your rabbit in scenarios where they're afraid. The other reason is the bunny is not socialized, all right? And there is a difference between coming from trauma and not being socialized. They can go hand in hand, but they don't necessarily have to be related. Not being socialized means that, you know, they really haven't had a lot of human interaction. Maybe they've lived at the shelter their whole life. It doesn't necessarily mean they came from an abusive situation, but they've just never been in a home with love and warmth and all that stuff. So they don't even know how to act around people. And I just made a video on this where I went to the local animal shelter and there was a bunny that was just terrified, shaking, all the things, not aggressive, thankfully. I mean, every rabbit is gonna react differently, but after a while, the bunny warmed up. Finally, your rabbit may bite if you have a female specifically who is either pregnant or has had her kits already. She's given birth to them and she's extremely protective of her kits. So don't mess with the babies when she's like nesting them and stuff. All right, so the kinds of bites that you're probably gonna see with your bunny, there's only a few, but one bite is the self-defense bite, and that's the one that's going to apply to a lot of the points I just brought up. It's really your bunny just trying to protect themselves and protect their territory. And so that's gonna be a pretty gnarly bite, okay? That's gonna hurt. They can draw blood, and it's not fun. They have some really sharp incisors, all right? Just remember, they can like bite through wood and bark and hay. The next bite that you're gonna see is accidental. So this means it is not on purpose and it is not out of malice. And yes, it might hurt, but you're probably not gonna bleed or anything like that. You might feel a little bit sore. Usually this has to do with a little bit of food aggression. If your rabbit is really hungry and maybe you're teasing them a little too much, if you're like hand feeding your bunny and they bit your finger instead of the treat, that sort of thing. And so that's not something you should be mad at your rabbit for. And then finally, the last kind of bite you're gonna see is actually more of a nibble. All right, it's more of a nibble, and it is actually out of affection. And this, you'll catch your bunny like nibbling maybe your clothes, your hair, even your skin, because they want you to keep petting them and grooming them, and they're just kind of like returning the favor. It's really cute. It shouldn't hurt, although sometimes it can, because they don't understand like human pain thresholds. And so, you know, the easiest thing to do is to like just, ow, you know, like pull away and like snatch yourself away, and they'll stop. How do we solve the underlying issue though, especially if this is like an ongoing situation? I've made some videos on how to bond with your rabbit, but you know, this really boils down to spending quality time with your bunny. And you'd be surprised just how many folks don't do this. They don't prioritize it. But it's as easy as get down on their level, okay? Get down on their level. Let them come to you. That is the ideal scenario. If you've got a lot of homework to do, or you've got, you know, a book to read, get down on the ground, bring your laptop with you, you know, grab your book and lay down on the floor, and then just chill next to them. Don't even try to pet them. Don't try to come up to them. Let them come to you. Let them see that you're not out to get them. You're not scary. You're not intimidating. And I promise you, if you do this daily, even if it's just for a couple hours, in 1 week, you will see radical results. They are prey, and if you're hovering above them, it's scary, it's intimidating. And so you need to show them that you are their equal. The next way to reduce or eliminate the biting is with treats. I always say the way to a rabbit's heart is through their stomach. So always have goodies on hand. And of course, you know, you're not gonna overload them on sugar, right? Disperse it reasonably throughout the day. And I give Lennon like 3 treats a day, but I break them up, or I make sure that it's like small treats, you know? And your rabbit should be getting about 3 treats a day. So obviously disperse the sugar reasonably, you know, don't overdo it, but you know, I give Lennon at least 3 treats a day. And hand feeding really exacerbates the process because it's coming from you. But I would say in the beginning, if your bunny is especially aggressive, don't hand feed because you don't want them to bite your hand, okay? You want to just put the treat next to you, all right? And just sit there. Just try it. Just read a book and just sit there for however long, you know? And just coexist. Just coexist with your bunny. Pretend like they're not even there. And that will naturally draw them to you. They are naturally curious animals. They will eventually come to you. And that is what you want out of a bunny, is for them to come to you voluntarily, all right? You never want to force your rabbit to do anything. These methods have been proven to work, right? Spending quality time, getting down on their level. I did this in the house rabbit makeover episode with a particularly aggressive rabbit. So if you want to see that process, just go watch that episode, okay? And remember, this is going to take time. It's not an overnight success. It could take a couple weeks, could take a month. Every rabbit is different, but if you do this daily, I promise it will be very rewarding by the end of it, because everything that is learned can be unlearned, especially when it comes to rabbits, all right? But think about your own self. Think about how hard it is for you to undo your own unhealthy habits and patterns in life, all right? Not to get like philosophical or psychoanalytical, but it is hard to not repeat bad behaviors that maybe we've indulged in the past because that was our form of self-protection. It is no different for a rabbit. So give them grace, give them compassion. Every rabbit is different. So yes, there might be that one exceptional bunny that, you know, it's just gonna take a really, really long time and a lot of work, but that's kind of what you sign up for as a bunny owner. And it's no different when you like own a dog that's been traumatized or something, right? Like you always hear the owners say like, oh, careful, like he came from a bad situation, you know, and it's like, it's life. Finally, I just want to throw this in here, what not to do. I think it goes without saying, do not yell at your bunny, shout at your bunny, try to physically punish your bunny through hitting or anything, or grabbing them, shaking them, whatever it is, because they don't know what that means. They're only going to be scared of you if you do that. It's only going to create more trauma. It's gonna break the bond. So don't hit your bunny, please. It's really, really wrong, and it's sad that I even have to like say that in this video, but there are people out there in the world who do that, and you don't want to be one of them. So, you know, I know you guys watching this video probably don't resort to that, but I just had to say that there, okay? Bunnies don't respond to physical punishment like that. There are better ways to teach your bunny, and it's through positive reinforcement, and that is just the underlying theme of this video. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. Thank you for tuning in and supporting us. Hope you're having an amazing holiday season, and we love you. Mwah.